as your kids get older and they start to bring significant others, you'll walk in with that house coat. The kids will all roll their eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, does anyone need a charge? Like, don't say it. Don't ask them. Don't say it. Don't do it. Yeah, I could use a battery. Battery, Jenny!
Just been waiting for this moment again.
The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a... Oh my goodness, I was blanked. I was about to say 6-year-old.
Oh no,
Oh, no.
It's happening.
It was the ramp. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and 9-year-old that are not in bed. I can hear them from here.
Oh no.
So.
We might have the first kid interruption we've had in months. That'll be perfect.
It's been a while.
Jeez, I think we probably had about, over the course of the show, which is running some 7 years now, we've probably had not that many, 10 baby crying interruptions?
Well,
mid-show?
Definitely the early days was more, I gotta go. The world is melting right now.
Yeah.
Like, my kid is upset at life.
Yeah, the kid is naked, my wife is crying, the kitchen's on fire. It's all hands
My
on
game's
deck.
not on pause. Like, we need to wrap this up. I can't do it.
I lost my cloud save. Oh, this is just awful. Hey, everybody, so thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, first we want to give a big thank you to Sebastion. He's from the Single Player Experience, a podcast you should definitely check out. It was a fantastic interview. I was really honored to be on the show. Really interesting question. So he had received a fan question about, as a new dad, one of his listeners had just recently become a father, and what games would he recommend? What games would you recommend a new father? And I punted it a bit because, well, the problem was, it's like, you should play Madden. It's like, well, I hate sports games. I see.
Yeah, so where do you go from there?
Yeah, so it was a little bit tricky. So I did give some recommendations. So I went with Hades, Stardew Valley, Slay the Spire / Magic the Gathering Arena, or Hearthstone if you like the card battlers, Horizon 5, or any sports game, Tony Hawk, Madden, NHL. Those actually have some pretty quick modes that work. And then Breath of the Wild or Phoenix Rising if you're not a Nintendo and you have that kind of big adventurous spirit.
That covers it. That's a lot.
It's a pretty good one. I think those are all dad approves. I think we've talked about all those on the show. The bigger takeaway for me, though, was just the notion that as a dad who games, you should know that this is one of the greatest times possible to keep this hobby alive and be a great father at the same time. And the reasons I give to that, there was, for instance, the next gen systems. The systems out there right now, it is just different than we were coming up. So with Quick Resume, with Game Pass, and the PlayStation version, which has so many access to games, with game streaming, with any of these systems, you're able to pick it up, hop in and out, great saves, off you go. You can port it to your phone. You're with the child, or they're kind of watching as they're napping, or they're napping on you. Pull up the phone, you're streaming into your system, you're playing. And the next generation of handhelds, as far as actual emulators, I got. If you remember, I got the $100 every 16-bit system.
Yes,
that thing is fantastic. So that's amazing if that's your kick. You want to play the old Mario or Sega games, or your handheld with the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
You can only imagine going back to young Jeff with his babies and holding a Steam Deck, can't you?
Totally. Right. I now that I think about it, because I had the first was PS3 era, and
wow.
That was kind of a janky era to be in the gaming space. And I remember I had to sell Demon Souls because it didn't have a pause menu, and that was a new dad gaming crutch. You couldn't pause or anything. So now it's a golden era, like you were saying. So many opportunities and tools to use.
Mm-hmm. So it totally different. So any new father who's worried about it or wants to kind of dip back into gaming now that there's going to be some of those quiet moments in between, greatest time possible to do it. So I'm really happy with the interview. I think the interview will be going up a while, probably the next couple of weeks. So check it out, the Single Player Experience from Sebastion. Thank you so much for having me on. It was an absolute blast. Call out to another fellow podcaster. So we had Dear Bill from A Gamer Looks at 40. He had sent a fantastic story.
Bill's great at stories, so I can't wait.
I know. Hey Jeff, who's your daddy? It's Battery Daddy.
Oh, Battery Daddy.
Battery Daddy. So Bill writes in, and by the way, anyone listening to the show, Google Battery Daddy.
Please, so you get the right picture.
You think you know what this looks like, but you do not know what this looks like. It is stunning. So, thought I'd share a quick story about a dad gift that should have gone wrong, but ended up as a strange obsession. We all receive dad gifts, a present from well-meaning family members that are marketed towards dads, but very few fathers actually want. The Shave of the Month Club, a fancy fountain pen, a combination pocket knife, bottle opener, surrogated saw, credit card holder. It's not what you would want. It's a generic gift every dad would want. When all we want is a Steam gift card.
Yes.
One such gift was the Battery Daddy. It's a plastic two-sided suitcase that holds and organizes over 150 batteries of every shape and size. It runs about $10 US and is clearly one of those aforementioned dad gifts. The sort of thing you buy for a Secret Santa or a white elephant. I love this thing. Twist. You didn't think that? You didn't see that coming?
No, I didn't see that coming.
There are few things more satisfying than opening up 50 packs of AA batteries and loading them into the daddy. No more combing through 20 cabinet drawers looking for the C's I used last year for a remote control train decoration. There they are, preserved for all time or until at least they wear out. And it comes with a battery tester. No lie, I spent half an hour last year collecting those loose batteries around the house and testing them one by one to see if they held a charge. You'll be amazed how many dead batteries are knocking around your home. So there you have it. With the holidays upon us, it's time to refill the Battery Daddy. The Battery Daddy is not happy when he's hungry, so it's my job to satiate him. Last night, I spent time ordering batteries, and today, when some came, I painstakingly opened every pack and fed the daddy. Kids have Pokemon cards. I have 50 packs of AAA batteries and an organized place to put them. If I start emptying the daddy just to refill like a scene from The Aviator, please send help.
Wow.
Okay, no joke. I'm now gonna ask my wife for this for Christmas. This is awesome. We have 6 or 7 handhelds. We have like some tablets that run on batteries. We have remote control cars.
Absolutely.
I have a plastic Ziploc bag of batteries. And the janky doesn't work very well tester. This is actually legit. This would be very good.
Yeah, and like you're not crushing it into like the junk drawer that everyone kind of has and throws the batteries in, and some are dead, some aren't, and you're just like, well, roll the dice, see what works in your remote control car. But I was thinking when this was first mentioned, I was trying to picture like what shape it was, and then we mentioned the briefcase, but like maybe an upscale version of this, and this goes back to Bill, like battery bandolier. Right? And it just goes across the chest and you pump in the AAA and AA batteries and you're like, and you just load them in the toys, right? Battery bandolier.
Oh my goodness. So just 2 strips across the chest.
Yes.
And the best part is like you show up in your house coat with your coffee on Christmas morning. Dad, we have toys. Do you? Whoosh. The house coat goes flying.
Can you imagine? Christmas Day? You just have that bandolier at the ready? You're like, I got this, kids. Santa didn't give you batteries. Daddy did.
And then as your kids get older and they start to bring significant others, you'll walk in with that house coat. The kids will all roll their eyes. Yeah. It's like, oh, does anyone need a charge? Like, don't say it. Don't ask them. Don't say it. Don't do it. Yeah, I could use a battery. Battery Daddy!
Just been waiting for this moment again.
Every year.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we do this to ourselves?
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, thank you so much for the email. That was fantastic. Gaming dads out there, do you have a similar Christmas story? Do you have any other story you would like to share with the gaming dads? Reach out to us, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming. So, listeners of the show might recall from last week, we had Trevor's Funhouse of 6 mysteries. I don't know if it's 6 or 5.
What did we end up at? I think it was 6. I think
feels like 6. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a big week for me, so I had Jeff randomly pick numbers to guess the story, then I'd lead him through one. And it was just like surprise after surprise. I had him like practically on the floor.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah, so this week, dear Jeff has 4 items. 4 items I've not heard about, correct?
Yeah.
In no particular order, and the idea is going to be I'm going to choose a number, and Jeff will reveal it. We'll find out what Jeff's big week was with these 4 items.
I figure it's only fair, right? Like you did this last week. I had a big week. Well, I wasn't expecting this. I said we have to do this back and just see.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, ready for the
right.
first number?
All right.
Let's go with my favorite number 3.
Number 3. So, my 9-year-old. Black Friday was a big day, and there's lots of sales to be had, as sure everybody knows. So I wasn't expecting to do much with it, but my 9-year-old really has this laptop that's falling apart, pulling from the seams. The hinges are gone. I've looked up how to fix it. It's going to take $80 to glue this thing back together. Gaming laptop.
No way.
Gaming laptop.
Amazing.
For an amazing price. I think I scooped the last one at the store. We'll do them for a while, and absolutely over the moon with this thing. It looks amazing. It plays amazing. It matches the 12-year-old's one. So we have parity in the gaming laptop space.
Hold on. Was that on purpose? Where it's just
that was on purpose. That was on purpose.
This cannot be more powerful than the brother's laptop. It's got to be right there.
Correct. It has to be the same. Otherwise, there's going to be fights, or I get more frames per second than you. That's where we are at, Trevor, is FPS levels. But no. So wasn't expecting to do this. Slight screw up to number 3. We'll call it 3B. Talking with my wife when we were going to go out to get this laptop, I'm like, all right, well, I'll go get it. And I guess I dropped the ball a little bit on the communication front. Okay. Because I thought she was aware that I would take the 9-year-old to go get it, and we'd make a trip, and they would come home with it and done. She thought it was a Christmas present. Ooh. So I come in the door with it, and she comes out to block the 9-year-old from seeing anything, not knowing I took them. And the eyes just widened. What are you doing?
What have you done?
So I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm there with the laptop and 2 coffees, because I got coffees on the way home,
Smooth.
Good Starbucks holiday coffees. So
there you go.
I just kind of hand them over. I don't know. We'll talk about it when we.
Everything's fine. It's gonna be good.
So it was a little bit of a thing. Santa won't be bringing the laptop, but maybe Santa will bring a laptop case.
Okay. Now, was it did you frame it as in, this is clearly your early Christmas gift?
So I started to, and then my wife just kind of called it off, because again, we have to think about that, right? If this is part of a Christmas gift, again, they're paying for this. They've saved up money to get a laptop.
Oh, okay.
But
interesting.
I've paid a little bit of it, right? Okay. We'll cover the tax and a little bit of the money. So to throw it in as a Christmas gift would have been a big Christmas gift, and then you have to get the 12-year-old something, right? And that space is it probably wants a phone or something, and I can't drop $1,000 on that. So we kind of walked back from that and just said, okay, this is your thing now, right? So outside of Christmas would be a little smaller, but it's outside of Christmas. So
amazing. Okay, I didn't know he was pitching in. I saw it. My angle when you first said it is all right, wow, a Christmas present, that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But okay, so the kid had pitched in with his own money, then you just split some of the difference to help out.
Yeah. So they've been saving for a while on this thing, again, to match the 12-year-old, right? So it's kind of been an ongoing thing when they can't play certain games with their old crappy Chromebook that's broken. So now they can. And fight about that. So
was it easy for you then? Because since you were just going with parity, I don't know if you got the exact same system. Did you?
No, didn't get the exact same system.
Okay, so that must have been a bit harrowing for you, because to find, okay, the screen can't be that much bigger, but it's got to be this particular card. Because I went through it's not horrendous. That's overstating it, but it's certainly bewildering as you're starting to navigate. It's oh, this is a great deal on the laptop. The 1220, that's not good. Okay, and then you move. So how did you possibly navigate that?
Well, I had to step back from a lot of the deals, because if you spent an extra $50, you can get a card that's will go another 2 years, right? So this is the 3050, which is kind of the cut version of the 3060, and the 3060, a lot more memory in the graphics card. So like I had to like step back and say, okay, no, we won't spend the extra $50 to get something better. We'll step back from that and make it easier. But it is a different system, and there's also fights about that because there's different like lighting on the keyboard. Like it's the RGB keyboard that has now themes and stuff that the 12-year-old doesn't have. Oops. And it's a different, brand name. So there are some differences, but I did have to fight through the specs. The specs are a lot. It's not totally, I think one's Intel, one's AMD. So they're going to have differences down the line, but not right away. Not what they play, put it that way.
End of the day, there's going to be pretty smooth Minecraft frame rates.
Absolutely, yes.
It's going to be funny.
But that did factor in because one has ray tracing, and I'm like, this one has to have that option at least. That'd be great, but again, parity. Trying to save the piece.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. Wow, they did it. Gaming
you
PC
inspired me.
Very good. Like I said, this show is so expensive.
That's right. It's hard to run this thing.
It's just dads prodding other dads to buy things.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's amazing. That's awesome. I think we're gonna have somewhat similar strains where my kids will be getting their introduction into computing, although it's just Chromebooks, so it's gonna be vastly different. But yours are both like now into PC gaming, like. And with your Steam Deck, like it's going to be fun. I want to hear from you guys if you do like a LAN party between the three of you.
Yes.
Especially with your Steam Deck. Like that is so cool.
Yeah. I'm hoping for it. I mentioned it to them. I'm like, you guys all have sufficient PCs now to like run an actual like mature game. So let's see where this goes. That's
amazing.
Gonna be great.
So leveled up the house. 2023 is going to be real nice. In the
there
household.
You go.
All right, let's hit me. Go with number 1.
Okay, number 1. Final Fantasy 14 on the Steam Deck.
Oh, go. You're diving back in. How on earth do you have time for that game? My goodness.
I don't know how I have time. I started a whole new character.
Wait a minute. So you didn't even go back? Oh.
No,
okay,
I am starting fresh.
Why?
Well, there's a little bit to that. The Final Fantasy 14 again is like it's like hunting for a laptop with specs. So there's 2 versions of it and they don't talk to each other. So one is kind of like I look at them as different Minecraft versions, right? So one is kind of consoles and deals with their own launcher from Square Enix, and the other one is right through Steam. And Steam links to your Steam account and you can't change it and you can't deal with Square Enix. So any of the sales they have, you can't buy them. It has to be through Steam. And I was like going back and forth in my head. I'm like, okay, if I want to get the launcher to work, you have to go into desktop mode on this thing. You have to tinker with it. You have to load up stuff. I'm like, gaming dad, I don't have time for that. I just want it to work. So there's a demo on Steam, again, up to level 60. Download it. Good to go, man. I am in there. I'm loving it. Console MMORPG, just in a handheld form. It's beautiful. And it's so easy to like just again pick up, get into it, and drop out when I want. So
that is fantastic. So it feels like, and it's like, tell me the review of it, but I would think that type of game, especially for a gaming dad, so like you have precious little time, your kids are going to take up your consoles, you want to spend time either like on the couch or in the bed, like, and sitting down at a console or gaming PC to like put in an hour or so for this thing, a bit onerous. But now they got this Steam Deck, this beautiful portable unit. Yep. It almost feels like it would totally re-energize the possibilities of getting into this type of game.
Yeah.
Is that true? Like, does this feel like it reinvigorates you to kind of get into it?
I think you could get into it, and it's this specific one. So Final Fantasy 14, everything is built for the gamepad as well. So it works really well with the Steam Deck, and everything is customizable. And gameplay itself, you can always teleport back to your home base no matter what, and it'll keep your quests and everything. So if you need to save and get out, really easy to do so. You won't be put in peril, your character won't die, blah, 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 blah. You can either leave it open and running or just transport back and you're done. And I've been putting in just like 30-minute sessions. That's all it needs, and I get my fix, and it's great. I don't know, man. It's awesome. I think it's a great experience to have.
It's actually kind of encouraging, like 30-minute sessions for one of the most heralded MMOs out there. Like
Yeah.
I would. It's hard for me to fathom playing an MMO for less than like an hour, 2 hours. But it looks like you've found this method, just like dip in.
It's really about the mindset of like, I am not going to finish this today, and 30 minutes is great, and it can last me a decade, like whatever, right? Like this can be
True.
my kind of comfy spot, like on the couch, right? So that's what I'm kind of looking at it as, like I can kind of make dents in this huge, enormous game, at least
Nice.
before I have to start paying. Then that might be a different story.
Didn't spend a dime.
Yeah,
Right up to 60.
That's right.
Man, congrats. Jeez, back into it. The Steam Deck continuing to give value.
that's right.
Like, anyone listening, like gaming dads, if you're trying to convince a significant other to get you the Steam Deck, just like we should really string together a bunch of clips with how it's improved your life. And it's like the Jeff guide to why the Steam Deck makes everything better. And it's just like clip after clip.
Yes.
It's like my kids are happier. My wife is happier. I've lost 30 pounds. I can play Final Fantasy again.
Absolutely. Act now, you get the battery daddy. Like, right? But wait, there's more.
Yeah. We'll throw in a second battery daddy. Unbelievable.
I think this writes itself. We're perfect. This is great. Let's do it up.
We'll finally get that battery daddy sponsorship.
That's right.
No gaming sponsorships, just battery daddy.
Just battery daddies.
Oh, I'm loving these numbers. All right, we got 2 more to go. So let's go with number 4.
Yeah. So your face, I'm going to read your face.
Okay.
But Witcher 3. Bought it again.
Oh my god. Come on, man. What don't you own it on?
I don't own the third one on Steam. I own every other one. I own the
be
Switch
kidding me.
version. I own the console version, PS4, and then download on PS5. What else is there? I think that was it. I didn't have the Steam version of it. So I think I had the GOG version. I don't know. Something doesn't talk to the Steam Deck, and I had to download it during the Steam sale because I'm like, okay, it's $10.
It did
A
get
new
cheap.
update is coming out in 2 weeks.
Is that a free update?
It is a free update.
Ooh.
So
That's just like the update is just next gen enablement or like better graphics and
it's a little bit of all of that. Like it's better graphics. It's got global ray tracing, which I don't think will work on the deck. Like that's going to make it crawl. Next gen loading and stuff. It's got some enhancements to like the camera and the mechanics a little bit. But really it's about just, upgrading the experience for current gen, I would call it, right? So it's just another coat of paint on it.
Okay.
But it talks to each other, like there's crossplay and stuff. Like I could drop it on my Steam Deck, pick up on my PS5, good to go. Like same point and everything. I don't. It's really. I might be addicted to Witcher. Like I'm saying it now. I'm not proud of it. It was just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, how can I not? Like, it's,
What is it? So I was so aghast I couldn't keep track. So like this is the 4th time you've purchased this game?
Okay, so I have it on, PS4, PS5. I think I upgraded to the digital version. Yes, because I had the physical version.
Of course.
PS5, I had the digital PS5, so I can't play it. So I needed the digital version, Switch version, and now Steam Deck version. So 4th
4.
time.
Oh my god! As soon as it comes out for iPad, you're gonna have to buy it again.
Yeah.
Witcher Mobile
Possibility. I don't know.
That is just stunning. I mean, you mentioned like with Final Fantasy Happy Place, but this is your happy place. Like the
It is. Yeah, it's definitely my home. Like I'll sit in this space for a while. So I'm happy.
What's the new one that's coming out? There was like news about a new Witcher coming. I think it's like a redo of the first one.
The first one, they're redoing it completely because the first one is kind of, we talked about jank before. The first one is completely jank. It was not that great, and then Witcher 2 is very successful for them. So I think they're going back and redoing all of that. And then there's Witcher 4 that's announced, but that's like 5-10 years off. There's no way that gets out the gate anytime soon. But I'll be there for it. Maybe
you'll be
buy it 4
ready.
times. Who
You'll
knows?
have the Steam Deck 3, like all ready to go.
Exactly.
You'll have passed on the Steam Deck 1 and 2 to your 2 kids, and then let me grab my Steam Deck 3.
Yeah, I'll put in the will. You get my 4 copies of Witcher 3.
It's just like, don't you mess up my save file. I got a
right.
real good gambit going there.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, these numbers are the best. I wish I could have another banner week, but I can't afford to.
No, I know.
Because this is such a great way to do a show.
It's just a once a year thing. This could be our annual pre-Christmas Christmas to ourselves.
Pre-Christmas blowout.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that leaves number 2. Give it to me.
Okay, so on the similar kind of Steam side of things, have you ever tried to share your Steam library with your kids?
No.
They have a family system through Steam where you're like, hey, you have all these games. Do you want to share it with people in your family? And before I said, yeah, sure, why not? Let's set that up so my kids have access to the games that I have, which, is probably like 70 or 80. Not tons, but that's a lot for them to kind of step into under their own accounts. Kind of sat there for a while, nothing. Of course, now with my 9-year-old getting their gaming laptop, my 12-year-old with a gaming laptop, they want to borrow these games. And I found out, Trevor, that only one person can be playing the library at any one time. So you can share the games.
The entire library or just that game?
The entire library. I thought it was per game. God. I thought hey, you can't play the same game at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a problem. Whatever. No, it's any of the games. So me and the Steam Deck, I can see when they're online and it gives me a warning that somebody's playing something.
Oh my God.
So I quickly cursed myself because I kind of put it out there as this offer, hey, you can, go to town. And my 9-year-old is really into Factorio, loves designing and the patterns and trying to make it all work.
Great game for a kid. That's awesome.
Yeah, excellent. Holds his attention like crazy. But I just found out that I couldn't play Final Fantasy 14 when my kid was on there playing Factorio.
So selfless. So selfless.
Yes. The only workaround is one has to go offline. And that one person that goes offline has to be the owner. So I can go offline and play my games, except Final Fantasy 14 because it's an online game.
Because it's online. Oh. The one that you want to play.
That's right. I kind of painted myself into a corner a little bit on that one. But just warning to other gaming dads out there, sharing your library through Steam is awesome. I'm glad that they do it. It's just got a little quirk to it where you can't play the same game at the same time.
Now, how does it work with age rating? So if it is, you have Leisure Suit Larry loaded up into your Steam, do your kids get access to it, or is it a per game thing you can choose?
It's a per game thing you can choose. You can literally just check off the ones that you want to share.
Okay.
So I could limit some for sure. I did for a while there and then just kind of let it all loose. I don't have too much on there. It's all basically strategy games, and Witcher 3 they're not really interested in. But now that I say it, maybe I'll hide that one just in case. Who's downloading 80 gigs? Then I'll know. But yeah, it's something that's very well controlled. You can set a code for them even to lock down the Steam store, right? So they can't see anything there that might be, above their age range or stuff. But
nice.
It's quite well done. It's just, that little thing if you want to game at the same time.
It's the sacrifice, the fatherly sacrifice you're making of your own game time. Where instead it's probably actually just you running upstairs with the sandals and throwing it at them get off my games. This is my time. I worked all week.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to those childhood days where your brother or sister's on the Nintendo or console of your choice and you're just I want to play my game. Yeah. Now I'm 40 and doing the same thing.
No, it's worth. No, I think the better analogy is where you desperately want to play your game, but your dad wants to watch the game, he wants to watch hockey or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
He's well, we're watching the movie now. You can't be playing your games. You're just sitting there seething, this is the only time I can play.
No,
that's super. That's fantastic. You summed it up perfect. It is awesome that they have it. Shame that's that little quirk, but otherwise that's just a great system. That is too good, man. 1, 2, 3, 4 killed it. Loved it, man. What a great week. We need we'll do a guest host next week so we can get someone else who spent a bunch of money and they can regale us with what they've done. Yeah, tell you what, anybody listening, you want to write in and give us your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, do at newdadgaming.com. I'd love to hear from it. See what everyone else is doing in the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that makes a good segue for the end of the show. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. As I mentioned, if you want to reach out to us, newdadgaming at newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming on Twitter. If you have gaming stories, if you have your own battery daddy, if you have experiences in sharing your Steam Deck, if you want to hook up with Jeff on Final Fantasy Online, if you have your own numbers you want to share, we'd love to hear from you. One of the greatest parts about this show has definitely been the interactions we've had with Gaming Dads Online. So we'd love to hear from you. Do reach out. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcasts. Go ahead and subscribe. It really does help the show. If we can ask for the favor, is do subscribe and leave a rating and a comment. It's unbelievable the difference it has made in this last year as we get out to more gaming dads, and Jeff and I would be eternally grateful if you could take the moment and do that. Otherwise, everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
And a damn fine list of 4. That was fantastic.
Right.
Just remember, everybody, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over. Unless you Steam share. Then it
Unless you Steam share. Then you cannot game, sir.
Then you can't. Then it is game over.
That is game over, Dad.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you later.